Hello and welcome to the session on Amazon Translate. This video is a part of the AWS certified AIML bootcamp series. On behalf of the CloudExpert Solution team, I would like to thank you for joining us and exploring this video. In today's session, we'll first review key concepts of Amazon Translate, followed by we'll explore how to use Amazon Translate for real-time and batch translation. We'll also review custom terminology, then language auto-detection, and finally we'll touch base on integration with other AWS services. Whether you are new to AWS or looking to enhance your skill, this session is for you. Amazon Translate is a neural machine translation service provided by AWS. It delivers fast, high quality and affordable language translation, making it easy to translate large volume of text efficiently. Here is an example of translation. I have tried to use a sentence, "Hello, welcome to the session on Amazon Translate." You can see it auto-detected the language, and then in this example, I tried to translate in Hindi. And it is saying, "Namaste, Amazon Translation का session में आपका स्वागत है." It has correctly translated a sentence from English to Hindi. In terms of affordable, here is the translation pricing. It has a generic free tier of 2 million characters per month for first 12 months. If you are within the free tier, then you don't have to pay anything for this demo. After that, for any standard text translation, you need to pay $15 per million of characters. And for batch document translation, again, $15 per million of characters. Please review the Amazon Translate pricing page for detailed pricing breakups and updated pricing for your use case, as AWS revise service charges time to time. Let's dive into the key features of Amazon Translate. To start with, real-time translation. Amazon Translate provides a real-time translation for applications that require instant translation of text. You have the option to control brevity, formality, and profanity masking. We'll review those options in our demo. This option is particularly useful for chat application, customer support, and real-time communication tools because there you need real-time translation. Moving to batch translation, you can translate large volume of text in batch mode, which is ideal for translating documents, websites, and other content. Batch translation feature is useful for businesses that need to localize their content for different markets. As an example, if an e-commerce website is working in China as well as in Vietnam, in India, and in Northern America, then it can give proper product description in the local languages. For China, it can use Mandarin. For Indian market, it can use Hindi or English. And also in Northern America, it can use English or Spanish. You can also use to create custom terminologies. This feature allows you to customize the translation of specific terms and phrases to ensure consistency with your brand or industry-specific language. For example, a company can ensure that the product names and technical terms are translated correctly in different languages. Amazon Translate can automatically detect the source language of your text, making it easier to work with multilingual content. Amazon Translate integrates seamlessly with other AWS services like Amazon S3, Amazon Comprehend, Amazon Poly, and it enables you to build comprehensive language processing workflows. Amazon Translate can be used in various scenarios like customer support. It provides multilingual customer support by translating customer queries and response in real time. It can also be used in e-commerce to translate product descriptions and reviews to reach global audience. I took an example of an e-commerce organization operating in different geography like China, Middle East, India, and North America. The organization can use Amazon Translate to provide product descriptions in local languages to capture audience speaking native languages like Arabic for Middle East, Mandarin for China market, English and Spanish for North America, and so on. It can also localize websites, apps, and marketing material to cater different languages and regions. Also, it provides multilingual communication. It can facilitate communication between teams and clients who spoke different languages. In today's world, we saw different mobile apps. With the help of that app, you can speak and understand different languages even if you do not have any idea about that language. Next, we'll review Amazon Translate in action. And this will be a demo session. Please log into your AWS Management Console and join me there. I have logged to my AWS Management Console. If you have used Amazon Translate, you will see in recently visited services. If you are not seeing Amazon Translate in the recently visited services, don't worry, write Amazon Translate in search option. This is the Amazon Translate landing page. In the left hand side, we have different options: metrics, real-time translation, batch translation, customizations, and we'll review one by one. We'll start with real-time translation. I'm going to use the sample text, and you can see it's automatically detected the source language, and the detected language is English. The target language it is given as English. Let me change it to French. I have two options. I can go to Canadian French, and now we can see it has translated this text to Canadian French. I can go to Hindi, and now you can see it is translated in Hindi also. You can play around and you can change different target language to review the translation. Now let's review some additional settings. In additional settings, first you can change the brevity. You can change the formality. Let's try with formality. In formality, first let's choose informal. You can see in informal, it is saying Tumhara swagat karta hu. In Hindi, there is a different tone in formal and informal. Every language does not have this variety. Now, if I'll change the formality to formal, you can see it's changed to aapka. Let's review different settings in Amazon Translate documentation. We have separate section for brevity, masking profanity, and formality settings. These settings are not available for all the languages. As an example, Dutch, French, German, Hindi, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, and Spanish has different tone for formal and informal conversations. If we choose brevity, it will reduce the length of the translated output while still conveying the core message. And again, if we go to Amazon Translate product documentation, if we go to brevity, here you can get the supported language. Brevity only supported for French, German, Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish. The other option is profanity masking. Profanity masking, if you have some offensive language or taboo words or some words which is socially offensive, then Amazon Translate will mask that. Let's go back to Amazon Translate documentation. Here you have an unsupported language like Bengali, Hindi, Malayalam, Punjabi, Sinhala, and Vietnamese. Here we do not have support for profanity masking. Now with this way, you will be able to change or you will be able to cater your real-time translation. Let's assume I have the paragraph like AWS offers a variety of services including EC2 and S3. And in this, I want to use custom terminologies. Instead of AWS, I want to write Amazon Web Services. Instead of EC2, I want to write Elastic Compute Cloud. And instead of S3, I want to write Simple Storage Services. For that, I need custom terminology. Currently, I do not have any custom terminologies. To do that, first, You need to enable custom terminology. As I mentioned, I do not have one. Let me show you how you can create a custom terminology if you want to. For that, from the left hand side, come to custom terminology. Here you can create custom terminology. You can provide any name, and then you need to create a terminology file. The supported file formats are either CSV or TMX or TSV. Let me show you a sample CSV file. You can create a sample CSV file like AWS with the target Amazon Web Service, EC2 Elastic Compute Cloud, and S3 Simple Storage Services. Like that way, you can put all the AWS abbreviation in the translate file. Then you can make it as a CSV file. You can choose the file. You can upload the file. And then you can create the terminology if you need to. I do not have an use case. That is why I am not going to create. This is very simple. Once you have created, you will see the custom terminology listed here. You can create more than one custom terminology files. And then when it comes to real-time translation, you can provide the text. You can go to additional setting. You can select the custom terminology. And once you will create the custom terminology file successfully, you will see the listing here. And with that way, you will be able to change those abbreviations to the actual name of the services. This was all about real-time translation. We can go to batch translation, where you can create a job. For batch translation, you have to provide a name. You have to provide a source language here. You need to club all those documents, or you need to put those documents inside a S3 bucket. And you can see the input data, it has to be in a S3 location. You can select the S3 folder where you have all those files. You can select the file format. Either you can use a plain text .txt file, .html file, .doc file, .xls file, or even a .ppt file. You can create that batch. Let's say you have incoming files, and that incoming files are posting into your S3 location. You can put that S3 location, and then again you can use that formality and the profanity option. You can choose the IAM role. If you do not have an IAM role, it is going to create an IAM role for you and then create the job. I do not have an use case, and I don't want to spend any money on this job because the batch translation is not free, and there is no free tier for batch translation. That is why I don't want to spend any money in this, and I'm not going to create. But if you have an use case you want to create, the next step is create job. For me, I'll cancel this. And once you will create, you will see one job. Now you can run that job to do all those translations. This was all for the demo. Now we'll go back to our presentation and we'll review the last segment, that is some architectural or integration with other AWS services. This is an example of one of the many use cases. Here I have taken a fictitious call center handling multiple languages while interacting with its global customer base. This solution integrated Amazon S3, AWS Lambda, Amazon Transcribe, Amazon Translate, and Amazon Comprehend to determine the customer sentiment and stored the sentiment score in a DynamoDB table. In this sample architecture, I have used AWS serverless tech stack. And one of the most useful aspects of serverless architecture is that it has the ability to add and expand functionality easily. Amazon Translate has inbuilt integration with most of the AWS services, so you can expand this architecture diagram as per your use case. In our example, since multiple agents are communicating with different languages, and ideally we should convert the outcome to a common language like English and then perform a sentiment analysis. To start with, all the conversations, the audio file are landed to the S3 bucket. Then with the MP3 files, I am invoking Amazon Transcribe to convert the speech to text or transcribing the conversations. Then the transcribing output may be in JSON format feeding into Amazon Translate to convert the local languages to English. Once the conversation text is converted to English, I can use Amazon Comprehend to perform the sentiment analysis and get the sentiment score, which can be stored in a DynamoDB table. This is just a possibility out of many. You can create more versatile solutions integrating with other AWS services. That wraps up this module. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more update, and feel free to drop any question or feedback in the comments. We would love to hear from you. I hope this session helped you gain a deeper understanding and brought you one step closer to your learning goals. Thank you very much for watching and learning with us at CloudExpert Solution. See you in the next module.